Let's make some really easy bread. And I'm not kidding you, it is super easy or I wouldn't do it. First thing I'm going to do is take these 2 packets of yeast, and they're the fast rise instant yeast. You can use any brand that you like. My mother-in-law gave me a recipe for pizza. She lives in Turkey. But I've modified it to make bread and all kinds of things. So you can modify this recipe really easily if you like to experiment. But we're gonna take 2 packets of yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, and we're just gonna stir that up and let that get bubbly. You really don't need to do that with instant rise yeast, but I like to let it bubble a little. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take 4 cups of flour. This is pretty forgiving. You can add more or less. You can add more or less water. This recipe is really versatile. Like I said, I got it from my Turkish mother-in-law for pizza dough, but I use it for bread all the time. So there we go. We got 4 cups of flour. I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of salt. Usually I don't use measurements. I just use my hands. And in Turkish measurements, you'll find that they use like water glasses, actual spoons. They're not really using the measurements that we use in the USA. So I've kind of modified it to fit my needs. As you can see, this is pretty bubbly. So I'm just gonna pour it right in. You can make a well, you can do it fancy, but this recipe is so easy that you don't need to do that. So now I'm just gonna put it onto my mixer here. I have the bread dough attachment. I'm gonna lock my mixer because it will move, and I'm just going to turn this on to 4, and I'm going to let it do its thing. This part is the reason why I started making bread, because you do not have to do anything except for let this work for you. So I like to add a little bit of olive oil into mine. Just do what you want. I would say it's about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I just like the way it makes the bread taste. And my family really doesn't like the bread that we have in the stores here. They say it tastes like sugar. So what we are gonna do probably is add just a little bit of more water. Like I said, this recipe is very forgiving. It doesn't have to be exact. We just want the texture to be right. I'm gonna now turn this up to 6. You're gonna wanna do this for about 3 or 4 minutes, standardly. A little more, a little less. I think that's good on the water, but I might add just a little more oil. And then, you know, a lot of recipes call for you to add oil at the end so it doesn't stick, and this is the part where I add my oil. I don't follow the recipe exactly like I should. I turned the oven on to 450 and have it preheating. And I'm just waiting for this to mix up just a little bit better. But I'm gonna get in here with my hands a little bit. So I'm just gonna lift this up, mix it with my hands a little bit, take it up here, and you're gonna get something that looks like this. This is kind of how you want your dough to look. And when it looks like that, you can just let it rest. I'm gonna cover it with a shower cap and a towel. And I'm gonna let it rise for an hour, and I'll show you what we do next. Be back. All right, guys, my bread is about double its size. I'm gonna take that off, show you. We're gonna punch down the dough. I just collect it here into a ball. I got 2 pieces of parchment paper. I'm just gonna put these into my pan. I've got 2 glass bread pans. You can use any kind of loaf pan that you like to use. Again, the oven's at 450 Fahrenheit. I'm going to divide this into 2 pieces. This one's going to be a little bit smaller because my one loaf is a little bit smaller. I'll put it down in here. And I'm going to put this one in the bigger pan. And again, we're gonna let it rise for about 10 more minutes. So it's been about 10 minutes. They rise a little bit. They rise more in the oven. What I'm gonna do is just break 1 egg And I'm going to add a little bit of yogurt, a spoonful of yogurt. And we're just going to mix that together. This will be our egg wash for the bread, and it makes it turn really golden brown, and it makes it taste really good. Gives you a little bit of probiotics. Turkish use yogurt for everything. And this yogurt's really good, by the way, by itself. Okay, got a little egg wash going on here. Gonna use my little brush. Couldn't think of the word. And I'm just gonna brush this egg wash onto the bread. Some people cut cut in the middle, a line down the center. I used to do that, but I didn't find that it made it any better. It didn't do any better. And it actually works pretty good this way. This bread is just, like I said, really simple. And we like to use our smaller loaf in the morning with our breakfast or with soups. And we like to use our larger loaf for like toast, grilled cheeses, anything like that, sandwiches.
Kızarmış ekmek.
Kızarmış ekmek. Ekmek, that is toast in Turkey. Toast in Turkey is called kızarmış ekmek, and toast is grilled cheese. So that's what it looks like, and I'm just going to put it right into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes.
They look so good.
Alrighty. All right, bread's cooking. Okay, let's take these breads out of the oven.
Ooh. Ooh, wow.
So brown.
Let's go.
And voila. Easy peasy.
Just that?
Just that.
Hadi bakalım. Bon appetit.
Afiyet olsun.
Afiyet olsun.
Enjoy your meal.